We have 6 main steps in the production process. The first step is what we call development. Towards the end of the development stage, we should have the treatment. Development is what the writer does, what the producer does. In our case, we're all going to be producers because we're all going to be contributing to the project. Getting us out of development into the next stage requires investment. People's investment as far as time, people's resources, corporate resources, it could be corporate financing. We could be getting money in from other organisations. And that is how we get out of development into pre-production. Pre-production is where we start nailing down actual times, actual amounts of money, actual resources. We nail it all down in pre-production. Different people have different responsibilities, like if you've got a location manager, it'll be their responsibility to not only, say for instance we're shooting in a public park, okay, you need permission from the council, so it'll be the location manager's job to, I don't know, maybe $50 or $100 to shoot in the park for an afternoon. So the location manager not only has to get the permission, but then they also need to organise having people wearing the high-vis vests, stopping the general public from going through. Because when you purchase the rights to shoot in a public park, you have the right to stop the public from coming into a public park. Once everything's been planned out, that's when we go into production. CTION. Planning, execution. This is made up of a whole series of steps that we need to go through, and these are the steps that we take through the journey of the making or the capturing of the raw footage. Once production is over, we then need to do something with that footage, and that's where post comes into play. Post-production is your editing, it is your colour grading, it is your composing of the music, it's the creation of the resources that help to market the product, the show. We're talking about the posters that go out to the cinemas, the cardboard cutouts that go out to the cinemas, the writing of the... Actually, that's part of step 5. But so post-production is mostly editing, mostly colour grading, Trailer. The trailer, that's part of post-production as well. It's one thing to have a product, but it's something else again, letting people know that that product is available. So marketing involves newspaper advertisements, online, Facebook, Twitter. It means getting your story into a news segment. It means going on to the talk shows. It means getting your product into people's minds, so that when stage 6 happens, people will be there to consume your product. The traditional distribution method involves marquee, which is just the theatres. What's the Holtz and what's the other one? The Village? Yeah. Event. Yeah. So it means convincing them to put your product into their venue so that the public can consume it. Sometimes they take a part of the gate. Sometimes you buy the use of the theatre for whatever amount of time or the number of sessions that you're going to have. That's very rare, but that does happen. So this whole production process, we need to get out of this, but to get out of this, we need to have this. The reason we have a treatment is because that is the document that we use to get people to buy in to the project. It is a brochure, basically. But instead of it being in a single page, it will be on anything from 5 to 30 pages. And it's what you use. So we do a pitch. A pitch is for potential investors. So you stand up in front of a group of people and you say, hey, I've got this fantastic story to tell you. And you've got your 5 minutes or maybe 3 minutes to get that story told to your potential investors. After the presentation, they will want something to read and you want to give them something to read. And that's what you leave them. You leave them with a copy of the treatment. The people that you want to convince are executive producers, maybe for motor company if you're going to be using their vehicles in your production, Microsoft if you're using their computer to see their product, so product placement basically, and of course, it's the executive producers mostly because they're the ones that you want to get the buy-into from.